Okay, welcome to another Sunday and lesson number 13, and we've made it to level 4 and pattern 4. So it's been a while since we've added a new chord form and a new pattern. We've been going over lessons, patterns 1, 2, and 3 really extensively, so you should have those first 3 patterns down and the chords that are associated with them. So now it's time to move on and add more to our brains and our fingers. Okay, so again we have new PDFs with the typical layout of the of the pattern and also our new chord form. So let's talk about our new chord form first. And by doing that, what we need to do is we need to talk about what note names the chord. And so the only one we haven't done yet is the top string, the D string. So the D string names the note, the chord. So if you look, open, take a look at your page as we're going. Open is D. 2 is E, 3 is F, 5 is G, 7 is A, 9 is B, 10 is C, and then 12 is back to D. So that's the fret and the string that names this. Now there's two this time, but this is the top one and this is the new one. The other fret and string that names it is the one we've already learned, and that's the bottom E string, and we know it goes E, F on 1, G, 3, 5, A, 7, B, 8, C, 10, D, and then back to 12 and E. So a real easy way to know and identify, since you know that bottom string, you know, like this is F, it's just the top string two frets down. So if it's F is on the first fret on the E string, then it's on the 3rd fret on the D string, and it goes all the way up like that. But you can look at the look at page 2 and see it all laid out for you. Remember, E and F are right next to each other. B and C are right next to each other. Drop my pages. Okay, so now let's talk about the actual chord and how you form the chord. And it's if you already know how to play the E chord way up here at the beginning of the neck, it's actually the E chord pattern. We call it pattern 4, but it's actually in pentatonic language, it's the E chord, okay, in the cage system. So you know how to make that E. 2nd fret on the D string, 1st fret on the G string, and the bottom 2 are open. Now notice, if you look at your page on page 2, the 2nd fret is E, and then open is E. So now this is a movable chord, so if I move everything up 1, so now if you're looking on, now go to your actual page 1 and you can see the pattern, but most importantly look at the little yellow dots and white dots. That's how you form the chord. You can bar it, or you can just cover the bottom 2, the B and E, with your finger, but I like to just bar it all the way across, even though this bar finger isn't playing the top 2, D and G. Okay, so there's F, and then look, key of G, you slide up 2, and there's G, 3 and 5 for your roots, slide up 2 to A, is this. Now you know how to make an A like the pattern 3-4. You know how to make an A now like the pattern or pattern 2, 3 here. Now you know how to make an A like the pattern 4 and the pattern 1A. So 3 different ways to make the same chord. And if you can see the patterns connected with it, just look at what's happening here. I'm playing the A here, you know, and I learned that pattern 2 and 3. When I want to play pattern 4, which is the next one up, and then if I want to play even farther up, I'm playing the pattern 1. So you see how we're still following how everything's starting to really spread out and come together. Spread out and come together with being able to play up and down the neck. So one chord, one note, one chord, one pattern turns into a whole bunch of notes, a whole bunch of chords, and a whole bunch of patterns. So I hope that you can see that this, how we're expanding, and every chord that we learn pushes us farther and farther down the neck for being able to solo. Okay, so we are at 5. Look at your sheet. 5 and 7 are the roots. That's A. 2 more. 7 and 9. That's B. B and C are right next to each other, so we're at 8 and 10 for C. Slide up 2 to 10 and 12. Okay, that's D. And the roots are on 10 and 12. 10 on the E string and 12 on the D string. Now, this one's a reach. It's really hard for me to make the E, so sometimes I just make it with the bottom 3 instead of trying to cover that top one too. But there's my E chord. And then I'm going to have the pattern. Okay, so now we have this brand new chord. So it might do you well, like if you know a song, you know, like Let's Go Out Tonight, you know, and you've been playing in A, D, and G. I mean, A, D, and E. You know, instead of playing this A, you might want to try playing it this A. Let's go out tonight, have some fun. We'll go dancing and wake up at the dawn. Okay, so instead of playing my A that I already know, I'm start to use that new A in your songs that you already know how to strum along to. That's how you're really going to get used to playing these new chords, is to actually play them. And to also know where your root notes are. Now, this is the one thing that I see that hangs people up a lot. We need to talk about it for a second. Is people don't know how to make like this chord and to make it as a G. They realize, well, I can use this chord form and I can move up and down the neck and make these other chords, but they don't know how. This is a very common thing that I get, and it's because you're not learning the one note. That's the first step in the whole thing. So, you know, this is D. D's named by the B string location. And if you want to make the G, you got to know that the G's up here on the 8th fret B string. Same with this new one, you know. Here's my A, and I know it's that because of my A notes that name it. If I didn't know those notes, I'm lost. So you have to learn those notes and then learn the chord form. But I hear it a lot where people say, man, I understand what's happening, but I just don't know where to find it on the neck. And so you need to learn that one note. You need to go back to the very basics. Okay, enough of that. Let's start talking about the pattern. Okay, so take a look at, we're going to start with let's go to the A. We've been talking about A. So if we're making the A chord, the pattern's going to be, and take a look on your sheet, it's going to be 4, 7, 4, 6, 5, 7, 5, 7. Top again, 4, 7, 4, 6, 5, 5, 7, 5, 7. That's our pattern. Okay, so you can see what our patterns are now. And what we're going to do is our simple exercise for this time is going to be just going from the bottom string D, and we'll start on F. So open 3, open 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, and then back up. And then hit the chord. Oh, we want to come back to the note, so we'll come back to the F on that top string. So chord. So that's the exercise. Then we'll go to G, and you'll have, I haven't printed it up yet, but you'll have the tab for it. This is the tab for next lesson, but you'll have tab for this exercise that you can follow along with. Now I've got a new toy. It's called a Beat Buddy that we're going to start using in the traveling ukulele episodes, and it keeps the beat for us. So here we go. Let's take a listen. We got a rock and roll beat, real slow. Okay, so this we're going to start in F, and you'll have your sheets to look at. So it's going to sound like this. Let's slow her down a little bit. That's the cool thing about Beat Buddy is we can just tell him to go a little slower. So we're going to go a little slower again. Here's F again. Go ahead. If you need to pause just to get this and practice it a little bit for F, and then start it and play it along with me, that's fine. But here we go. We're going to play. We're going to go up and we're going to go up all the way through. So here we go on F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go up to G. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now we're going to go to A, make the chord. Your roots, identify those. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, B, 9 and 7. There's your roots. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. B. Now go to C, which is 8 and 10. Those are your roots. 8 on the E, 10 on the D. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make the chord. Okay, now we're going to D, 10 and 12. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. And then finally E, and I'm only going to use, okay, there we go. That's a hard one. Like I say, you can play just the bottom 3 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. that's the exercise for this week. Let's go ahead and go through it again. We'll start with F. Now this is one thing I want you to know. If you're looking at A, 5 and 7, the pattern actually starts on 6. So the chord's here, but the first note of the pattern is on 6. And that's important to know for when you actually start soloing and you're playing this. And that's the same way with the second string. The first two, the chord's here, but the pattern's 1 fret lower than that. Okay, let's do it again. F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to G. 3 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chord. Now A. 1, 2, 3, 4. To B. 7 and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, chord. Now to C. 8 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 10 and 12 for D. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then to E. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there we go. That's the exercise for this week. And like I say, I haven't printed out the exercise yet, but it will be, and you'll be available, and you'll be able to have it in your hot little hands. Okay, so that's a good start for pattern 4. Now let's just talk real quick. Take a look here. Last time in the last lesson, we were identifying little boxes, and you can see on this pattern we have a little box on the B and E string. And so if you're interested, if you're playing, say, in A, and you're playing pattern 3, and you want to slide up into pattern 4, the best way to do it is on these bottom 2 strings, because bottom 2 on the pattern 3 is a big box, meaning there's 2. But you can slide right up into pattern 4 and there's that little box. So that's very, very commonly used for guitar players when they're playing these pentatonic scales. So I slid from 3 to 4 by sliding up into that little box. Okay, so that's just something, if you get to where this pattern is pretty easy for you, and you want to start combining it with the others, that's a nice place to make that transition from pattern 3 to pattern 4. Okay, so have fun. We're going to spend 3 weeks on this level 4 and on this pattern 4. So, we'll be able to give yourself time to start getting used to it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer questions. Please subscribe to the channel. That helps me out. And also there's a Buy Me a Coffee link where you could donate to the channel, donate to your lessons. And that's appreciated too. But we'll work on pattern 4 next week. Until then, have fun. Keep on playing.